Hi, and welcome to the Narrowboat podcast. My name is Lydia, and I've lived on a boat for about 1.5 years. In that time, I've come across so many interesting people who have also taken to the water, either to live or to work, or both. And so I've been dreaming of this podcast for a while. I want to meet and talk to other boaters and document their stories and share tips with you on how to make this lifestyle financially viable, or how to paint the outside of your boat, which, as I've recently learned, is not that hard, but is annoyingly time-consuming and temperature-dependent. One of the major reasons I haven't started this podcast until now is because I wasn't really sure where to start. But like most things, the best place to start is at the beginning. So I've invited along my brother, Elliot, who is a much more experienced host, and the idea is that he will interview me and we'll talk about why I bought a boat and my experience so far. But do not be fooled, I'll be hosting this podcast in the future. This is just sort of a one-off. So without further ado, Elliot, I'll let you take it from here.
Hello, Lydia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. I'm not thrilled that you think this is a one-off. I just want you to know that if this becomes a raving success,
it's because of you.
If they want me, they can have me. I know nothing about narrowboating, but I'm happy to be the dumb one who asks the dumb questions.
That's good. You know nothing about narrowboating. I know nothing about hosting.
Oh, well, look, I must say, I love the idea that you're doing this. You literally dropped me a WhatsApp just with almost like a little test and a little sample. And both me and my girlfriend Mari were in the car and we were just listening to it. And it was like, this sounds amazing. So I'm first of all, congratulations, because I know these things aren't easy to get off the ground, but I think it's really exciting. I mean, first of all, so to everybody else listening, I'm really interested to know, as a brother, as a friend, why you decided to do this.
Yeah, do you know, I was talking to a family friend of ours and actually someone who we used to go boating with as a kid. And I was talking about wanting to be able to do something creative and stuff like that. And she said to me, Lydia, it's the most obvious thing. You work in audio. Why don't you start a podcast? So just a bit of background about me is I work in TV. I actually mix TV programs and I record voiceover for a living. So she was saying to me, it seems so obvious. But I feel like even though our family, we sort of grew up doing shows and things like that. I mean, Elliot, you've always been the host or the person on stage, really. You and Mum are like on stage, and then me, Dad, and Miles, our younger brother, we're like behind the scenes people.
As you should be.
Maybe it's like I've got a face for radio. Maybe that's what people are trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just, she talked to me about this really early on in lockdown. And I was like, yeah, maybe. Thinking, no way, Emma, not going to happen. And she was so persistent. She kept messaging me about it. And then one day, I mean, my boyfriend was out. I think he was at work. And I was thinking, maybe I could do it. And I was thinking, but how do you start something like that? What is EP 1, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I grabbed an audio recorder of mine. I didn't even do that. I recorded it on my laptop. And I honestly just talked about rubbish for like 2 minutes. And I ended up saying the words. Today I've invited along my brother. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about why I bought a boat. Don't be fooled. He's not the host. I am. This is just a one-off. And I mixed some music into it and I sent it to Elliot. And I said nothing about it. I just sent him the file. And then he came back with, okay, pressure.
Yeah. And I like the fact that you're talking in second person when I'm right here. I appreciate that you've distanced me so much from front of stage to back of stage that you feel like we're not even in the same room. So
this is my podcast now.
Yeah. No, I think it's really cool. And obviously I know you very, very well, but I think it's probably just going to be really useful for those who are listening to you for the first time. Obviously, you've already created a very, very engaging community on Instagram. And I want to get onto that as well, because I know that you started the Instagram just for the pure love of the project of narrowboating, and it's now turned into something that maybe you didn't expect. But who are you? How old are you? Why don't you just give us a quick, brief overview of who you are and how we got to this point?
Just give you my Tinder profile information.
Well, you can leave me and your boyfriend, George, out of that. But yeah, please feel free to carry on.
Yeah, so my name is Lydia. And I'm 26 years old now. I was 24 when I bought my boat, when I was looking to buy my boat. I work in London, as I just said. I work in London in TV. I work in a studio in Covent Garden. I commute there every day. I went to an arts university. I'm a very sort of artistic, film-loving, cinema-going person and musical theatre lover. That sort of annoying person that always busts out into singing Wicked whenever is not appropriate.
Yeah.
That is me. So, it's a bit of a juxtaposition, really, that I can be quite extroverted, but when it comes to stuff like this, it just absolutely terrifies me, and I'm a real introvert. So this is really me pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and I hope that everyone can appreciate that. I might not be really good at it straight away, but I hope I'm going to get there.
Well, do you know what? I mean, I don't know your audience as much as you do, but I'm sure that they'll just be interested to better understand your story. I'm sure they'll be interested in it. I'm sure they'll also be interested to learn and understand the stories of the people that you are going to be speaking to. But as well, I just want to understand, like, why did you create the Instagram profile Narrowboat_Lily_May? What led you to do that? Why didn't you just put it on your own profile?
You know, I did do that at first. I was putting the pictures on my own profile, and I really felt like I was bothering a lot of people who follow me. Or like all of my, 200 followers at the time on my personal Instagram account. And so on Instagram, you can follow tags. And I had followed the Narrowboat tag on Instagram just for sort of inspiration, really, for decor inspiration and things like that. And then I discovered this whole community of people like me, young girls, young women, really, who were living on boats and sharing their complete experience and showing all of their DIY projects and all of their, decor things that they had done. And I just like, I want to do that. I want in on that, So I made my Instagram account with no expectations, really. And this summer, I reached my first 1,000 subscribers. So they're not subscribers.
Okay, so that just shows you how inexperienced you are in this field.
How rude.
If you're going to become a real social influencer with your 1,000 followers on Instagram, you need to get the lingo right.
See, this is not what I'm designed to do. I'm designed to record other people, but I'm giving it a go, so just give me a break.
But it's nice, though. And again, from the outside looking in, I mean, obviously, I can't even begin to make up that I know what the ins and outs are of living on a canal boat. But I think, again, it's just so lovely that there's clearly this community feel that you do feel when you're living either within a marina or if you're on the cut. But I think it's great as well that you can reach out to people, not just in the UK, but all over the world that do this full time. So I think it's, I'm proud of you, and I think it's a really good thing.
Yeah, I think it's just definitely made me feel less of the freak who lives on the boat by seeing so many people who are just like me doing the same thing. And there are YouTube channels of people who document their complete stories online. And I've always really admired these people, but just never thought that I would be able to do that myself, just because I'm so awkward on camera and even on microphone, as we're now learning. Yeah, I always really envied them. And even my dad got really into watching the videos after I told him I wanted to buy a boat. And he and I would be sending the videos to each other and all these things. And then maybe one of those people would like one of my pictures on Instagram, and I'd be like, Dad, you'll never believe who follows me.
Yeah.
Like real boat celebrities. And so this, I suppose, is the only way that I felt that I could get involved in that community, really, was A, my Instagram, and B, sort of bringing my audio skills into it with the podcast. And with the podcast, that sort of means that I don't just have to tell my stories all the time. I really want to talk to other people and find out what their stories are. I'm interesting for one episode, but I'm not interesting for, 3 years of videos online. So if we could just do one episode about every person and every sort of different living situation, whether they're a family aboard, whether they're, a couple aboard, or maybe they're renovating a boat or whatever, I think we can really keep this engaging.
Oh, well, and as well, I think even though you all share a common interest, is that you live on water and you live on a canal boat. It's all the other add-ons in a person's life that make their lifestyle interesting. And I think you and the listeners of this podcast will better understand that, one story is not the same as everybody else's story, even though the lifestyle looks fairly similar. And even I've recognized that, having only just been on your boat only a couple of times.
Yeah, I think I really want this podcast to be able to, first of all, educate people. You know, even if you're already living on a boat, there's lots to learn from other people's experiences. Maybe they had a new kitchen fitted and they had to figure that whole thing out. Then, you know, people will talk about that and you'll learn for when you want to change your kitchen. But also for people who are looking to buy a boat, because it is a daunting experience. There's only so much information online. And so if we could get people to talk about their real life experiences, then we're just going to make that process so much easier for people. And then there's the growing the community aspect of it. You know, I think when you meet other boaters, you've got something to connect about and connect over. And I know that I've got a great relationship with the people who I live with in my marina and things like that. And I think that I want to take that experience online and just allow people to meet other boaters via listening and hearing about their stories, and then being able to go and find their Instagram page or their YouTube page or etc.